Welcome to the Swipe Right Effect podcast, where we will be sharing with you the power to get unstuck by swiping right on yourself. Your host, author C.K. Collins, aka Kelly, gets personal with her guests, sharing stories of themselves getting unstuck with wisdom and guidance. Where do you feel stuck? Are you waiting to get your new life started after a big change? You've come to the right place. So with that said, let's get started.
Hey, everybody, this is C.K. Collins, aka Kelly, and welcome back to the Swipe Right Effect. Today, we're going to speak with Charlene Byers, and she's got some great energy. I can't wait for you to hear from her. Charlene is a relationship expert and dating and love coach. Who doesn't need that? She is also a certified empowerment coach through the SWAT Institute. Her specialty is helping single, successful career women attract devoted masculine men. She wants them to find their aligned partner, their best friend and lover. She focuses on 4 principles, and we'll get into that with her. But I can't wait to hear the answers to questions such as, where are all the good men? What do men really want? Why is dating so hard?
Yeah.
What do women want? I think that's really interesting. I like so. So let's jump in, Charlene. Thank you for coming and talking to me today, and welcome to the show.
Well, hello, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you for having me. That was a nice, fun intro. I'm like, yeah, where are all those good men, right?
Exactly. Where are all the good men? Let's just start there.
Oh, you want to start there?
All the good men.
You know what? Let's actually start there. I love that. I love that. So let's talk about this. So as you mentioned before, hello, I'm Charlene Byers. And yes, I help women really find like true alignment. Like people you hear, is that really possible? Is that a thing? Yeah, it actually is. It is. It's an actual thing. You can actually date people, and you can actually meet someone and have alignment with that person. Okay. And so often why I'm doing this work, because, I have my little backstory, and also with, the clients that I work with now, it kind of all goes together. But I found myself at a time in my life that I was married before. I was married to my ex-husband for 23 years. I was married, 4 kids, and I was very, very in love with my ex-husband. I never wanted to get divorced. I never wanted it to end, but we were definitely not aligned. And so throughout, 23 years as a human being, for me, I realized that I had to leave. And so I left that marriage, and that was the hardest thing that I ever did. But I knew in my heart and my gut that me and my ex-husband, no matter what we did, no matter what happened, we just could not get in alignment with each other. It was just always like that. So I found myself truly for the first time, being already married for 23 years and, being older now and having 4 kids. And I was also in a position that, I was able to leave my ex-husband and financially, be on my own feet with my children. And I was working all the time. I was doing all the things. And then a year and a half, I don't know how long goes by, but I finally realized, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go and, start meeting new people, because I was like, I had that part of me that I was still longing for. Real connection with the opposite sex. It's different than, just having a regular friendship with a girlfriend. I wanted that true connection, that intimacy, that alignment. So I was really thinking, is it possible still? Let's see what's out there. So Miss Charlene goes out there, I haven't dated in 20 something years. So I was in my 20s when I dated before. So this was I'm going to start singing a whole new world. This is a whole new world. So I go out there and I had no idea. And I kept going out there, trying to meet and be with these men and all that. And I actually kept attracting not nice guys. I was attracting, the typical guys that just, they were just kind of like, just wanted to sleep with me, or the guys that honestly were playing games with me, or like ghosting. And I could not figure this out. So I really thought, oh my goodness, guess what? I knew it. There is no good men out there anymore. They're gone. I believe that with all my heart because I was like, well, see, there you go. There's no more big men. They're gone. I'm trying. I'm a nice lady. What's going on? Well, guess what? I didn't realize what was actually going on was there were actually, I know this is so, you're going to listen to this is what I found out later on, but there's actually a lot of great men out there. There's so many. I just wasn't seeing them. And one of the reasons that I wasn't seeing them is because I had a little work to do, hon. I did. I didn't realize the way that I was looking at relationships. I didn't realize like a lot of the things that, happened to me in my relationship with my ex-husband. I didn't clear that. I just kind of like just let it go. I was like, well, didn't work out. But that still was in me. That still was coming along with me when I was trying to attract, a different type of energy, different type of man. So I would say that's why what I do right now started, because I knew like this part of me, Kelly, like I was like, no, there's no more good men. But you know what, really, but inside, I'm like, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, is it me? I'm thinking, is it me? What's up? So that's how this whole journey started. So I just want to say something right now before we get into any more. There actually are some really amazing men out there, because I ended up, after I did some work and after I did discovery and did all that kind of good stuff, a lot of not fun dates, I actually ended up meeting my husband now. I'm remarried now. And I got one of those. Yeah, I got one of those good ones. Yeah.
And you love some for the rest of us, which is
yeah, they're still out there. There's a whole bunch out there. Yeah.
So you and I kind of, we align not in a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Because we both believe, and my book is about this, your coaching business is about this, about you have to do your own work before you start looking for a relationship. If your energy is bad and you're putting bad energy out into the dating world, guess what? You're going to have bad energy coming back and bad dates coming back. You have to work on yourself. And I think one of the really interesting things that I'd love for you to explain to the readers is what keeps you stuck in those relationship patterns. Is it something from your past? Is it insecurity? I know we're probably all different. But what do you see as what keeps people stuck in a relationship pattern?
It's a little bit of that what you just said and a little bit more. So what I learned what keeps us stuck is that really we never, in general, because it's not like we're taught this stuff. When you really think about this, we go through our lives and we have relationships, right? And we have breakups and we have, all those things that happen to us. Often we don't even look at it. We don't even find out what happened.
Just keep going.
Like, what's up?
Yeah.
We kind of just brush it off and go to the next. And then this is what happens. Then you're like, I'm in a different relationship with a different person, but it's the same relationship. What is this? This is really strange. So then you start thinking, this is really interesting. So I'm just a little joke here. Just going to have a little fun here. Okay. So I was with Rico, you know what I mean? And Rico and I didn't get along and everything was kind of crazy. And now I'm with Bob, completely different. Bob and Rico are completely different. But me and Bob have the same relationship that me and Rico had. And Bob and Rico are completely different. Why is this? Why do I keep having the same
What's the common denominator here?
What here? So let's get into something real quick.
Yep.
So I have created, and this is why. So we're going to go back to me. So now remember, I'm out dating, right? And I'm like still attracted. Remember, I was married to my ex-husband. I was crazy in love with him, but he had a certain way with him. He had a certain pattern. He had a certain energy. And for some reason, that was the energy. That was the pattern that Miss Charlene was attracting because that's what I was used to. So let's go back from the beginning. So when I was a little girl, this is how I figured this out. This is the work that I do now. This is what it happened. when we are young, okay, and all of us, this is how it happens. We're born, we're born. And I like to, everyone has a different way of explaining this. So mine's a little lighter. So if you need a little more, ask me questions, let me know. But I try to keep it a little light because sometimes people have never heard this. So they're going to hear this for the first time. They're going to be like, what is going on? So I try to keep this really light. Okay. So you're born. When you're born, depending on who you were born into. So if you were born into, you had a mother, father, or you had caregiver or whoever that was. Okay. So when you're born, what I explain to people, I'm like, you're just like this pureness. You don't have anxiety. You don't have depression. You don't have past patterns. You are like a beautiful, pure little baby. Okay. And your brain is so pure and it doesn't have any of that stuff. Okay. None of that stuff. So now you're born. And from the moment you're born to about 7 years old, and this is science, and this is not me saying, this is how it is, your nervous system starts getting wired. Okay. So it's based on the environment that you were born into. So from birth to about 7 years old, it is what it is. So if you were born in an environment that you heard a lot of fighting and you had a lot of noise and fighting and this is the word I use in Spanish. I'm Spanish. And you didn't have cariño. Cariño is like you didn't have like that love and gudo. You didn't have that in your life. Your nervous system already started getting wired. So you're already like wired to the yelling and all the things. Okay. That's how it started happening. That's what your body actually gets used to. So when I was born, same thing. I was born into a lot of yelling, a lot of fighting, a lot of yelling, a lot of, now I'm like a little girl and I'm my parents, weren't even together. And I seen this stepfather and my mother. I love my mother, but my stepfather and my mother, all they did was fight and chaotic and toxic. And it was just like, wow, it was a lot. So I had no idea. I was just a little girl. I was a little girl. You know what I mean? So what happens is that's what I actually got used to in my body. Not that I wanted it. It didn't matter. That's just what my wiring got. Okay. So now what happens? So now I'm not a little girl anymore. Now I'm getting older. And now I go off into the world. And I'm like, oh, I'm off into the world. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go meet men, I guess, attract men. And all of a sudden, I start meeting men that are like kind of feisty and yelling and controlling. And I'm like, oh, this feels normal. Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, this is okay. I'm used to this. This is how it is. This is how it is. I had no idea, hon. I had no idea. So what happens is why we create certain patterns in relationships. It comes down to a couple factors. One of them has to do with the wiring from the beginning.
Right.
Literally from the beginning, from your childhood. We can't ever not put information into our lives of what really happened to us. I'm not talking about you have to have blame or anything of that, but you got to know what happened. You got to know why you feel the way you feel. And so what I realized is what was happening to me, Charlene, when I got older and I was dating, I was in almost a protection energy. Okay. I have been dealing with some strong men my whole life. So I didn't realize that my energy was very, very masculine. I was like the guy, even though physically I look very feminine, right? As you see, but my energy was very protective, very like,
got it.
Okay. So the guys that I was attracting were not the guys that I wanted in my life, because I actually wanted to have in my life men that actually didn't have that attitude, weren't mean, weren't having to fight me. I wanted the opposite, but I didn't know that the energy that I was in was never going to attract those great guys.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's really interesting. I think that I've actually had some really interesting conversations with women about their masculine energy.
Yes.
Two of my really good friends and hiking buddies, we've had those conversations, and we recognize that we had to do a lot of things in our lives that required the masculine energy to get
Yes.
forward in your career, to take
Yes.
care of your family.
100%.
My husband traveled. I had to take on a lot of those masculine
Yes.
roles while he traveled.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
yeah, and it's hard when you're dating to realize you might be leading with that, and you have to take a step back and let that
No,
go.
that's what's happening. No, that's a very good point, Kelly. That's the next segment. What's happening to a lot of us women, because we were from the beginning, we were wired a certain way. We haven't had the best of luck with men. We've been in toxic relationships. So as that's happened, it's no fault to us. Like, there's no fault to me. Like, I had to do what I had to do. I had to develop this protection, being this energy, be the boss. I also was working and I was the boss. So can you imagine? I'm like, I'm a leader. I'm a sales leader of like 150 people. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm the boss. So my energy was very bossy, very masculine, very controlling, very, so a masculine man is definitely not going to be in attracted to a woman like that.
Mm.
So I had no idea that there was nothing wrong with my masculine energy, but I wasn't honoring my feminine energy, my intuition, my guidance, my core, because that's who I am.
Yeah.
I have my true feminine energy, and I didn't understand it, because when you're in masculine energy, ladies, and you are only on masculine energy and you're go, and you're protecting yourself, you actually don't even understand this. Masculine energy is very up here in the mind. Okay. So you're thinking, it's very, but feminine energy is the opposite of that. It's feeling, it's in the body. It's your intuition. It's your gut. It's knowing. It's like, you don't even have to talk sometimes. You just know. Okay. Right. So, but when you're so in your masculine, when you're thinking, and you're in that, you're not going to be able to trust your gut. And what happens is then this is what happens. You'll say yes when you actually wanted to say no. And you'll say no when you actually wanted to say yes. So you put yourself in these situations because you're not allowing yourself to feel. And slow this down.
Right.
And so that's what was happening to me. So what I ended up doing is I realized, oh my gosh, okay, so there's a couple of things here. Charlene has to do some shifting here. So first I had to learn my past patterns. Why was I attracting the same type of guy? Because I was showing up the same way. I truly believe what I realized too after all this time is that men mirror us. Ladies, please listen to this.
Right.
Please listen to this. This is real. Men mirror us. Okay. So when we're wondering why, you have to flip it over and look inwards. You have to look inwards. Because if we're going to be able to attract a man, a person that we want to spend our life with, and that we want to have true alignment with, the first person you have to have true alignment with is yourself. And I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't have true alignment with myself. I didn't have that healing that I needed to do. I never even gave myself an opportunity to go, what I call now, get under the hood. You know what I mean? Like, girl, gotta get under the hood. We got to find out, mama, what's going on? What's going on? Why are we
getting under the hood?
I get under the hood now. So so that's why I tell my ladies, I'm like, girlfriend, we got to get under the hood, because we got to find out, why is it that you believe what you believe, and why? Why are we still attracting these type of guys? Why? So I don't want anybody ever to ever feel bad about themselves. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not broken. Oh, no. We're fine, hon. We're totally fine. We just need to give ourselves a little bit some more love. That's what we have to do. Charlene needs to give herself some love. So yeah. Charlene, exactly what she started doing. She started doing the work. It took me a long time because I was kind of on my own and I was hiring people and everything like that. That's why I'm doing what I am doing, Kelly, because I was like, oh my goodness, it doesn't have to be this hard. There's actually a process, a beautiful way that you can go through a process to do this discovery, to learn yourself, to, get under the hood and find out all the things and bring that all up and give it life and give it love and be like, okay, and be seriously, go, okay, and move forward. And not only just move forward in a way that you have. When I was able to do this work and I created what I created, I was actually able, for the first time in my life, Kelly, like I was actually able to look in the mirror. I know who I was and love myself. And I was like, Mama, you're going to be fine with a man. No man, you're going to be just fine, girlfriend. And then, right when I did that, that's when they all started coming. I was like, oh my goodness, there's too many now.
Right. Definitely.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I believe in that. I mean, and there's so many different ways to get to that point of self-love, and it's just imperative to get into the right kind of relationship.
Yes.
That has to be number one, loving yourself. But there's all these steps that you can take to get there. Right. And I know you probably coach people on that all the time.
Yes.
But that's what my whole book is about. Swipe right for yourself, choose yourself. And yeah, so I mean,
it really is choose yourself, because that's all I teach too, because I always say the work that I'm doing now too, Kelly, it comes down to it. Like, so I told you, women come to me because they're looking for love, which is beautiful. But I always said, let's love ourselves first. Mm-hmm. When we love ourselves first, everything else will be okay. I'm telling you right now. I didn't understand that. I thought I loved myself. You know what I mean? I thought I was loving myself.
Me too.
I really did. I thought I was taking care of myself, loving myself, but I wasn't being true to myself. I wasn't, bringing light to those things that I had some really hard time, Kelly, and I never gave it love, and I never, understood it and my healing. And I was actually hurting inside. I was actually, hurting, but I was acting on the outside that I wasn't, but I was. I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to address it. I was scared. But you know what? It's not that scary once you actually get to do it. It's actually, to me, so liberating.
Is it, I know one of the things that you teach is about the female archetypes, and how women can use that knowledge. Is that, understanding that, is that one of the keys or one of the ways that you can also learn that self-love?
Yeah. Well, with the archetypes, how I work also with the archetypes, I work in 3 archetypes I've created. So I created woman energy, daughter energy, mother energy. And what I've learned with the archetypes is when women are in relationships, is they are either showing up when they're in romantic relationships. I've worked with so many women for over 20 years. There's a pattern here. So when women are in romantic relationships, there's 3 ways we're showing up. We're either in a daughter energy, we're either in a mother energy, or we're in a woman energy. Woman energy is when you really are able to know who you are, love yourself first, lead yourself first, everything else follows. Mother energy in a relationship is when we are not being real with ourselves, when we are completely just doing for someone else and not giving anything to us, and trying to be the mother, trying to do all the things. It doesn't work. Okay. Daughter energy is also another form of when we're not being ourselves, when we are not slowing down, when we are rebelling, when we're mad, when we're fighting, when we're not having things for ourselves, to have self-control, to have, peace with ourselves, when we're just going outwards, instead of looking inwards. So so the archetypes really help women see themselves, how they are in relationships. And then when they see themselves, because relationships are so important, because relationships is when you get to really see who you are. You get to see how you act. You get to see how you're showing up. You get to really heal and learn yourself. Because sometimes when you're just by yourself, you're kind of like, I'm by myself. But when you're in a relationship, all that stuff's going to come out really quick. You know what I mean? They're really quick. You're going to get to see how you actually are showing up. So it's such a powerful tool for women to have something they can relate to, because they can see themselves in the archetype. So that's just one of the modalities that I use. One of the biggest things that really help women, that what I work with, I work off of limiting beliefs and reframing. And so what we do is we do a deep dive. It's pretty freaking amazing. So what it is there's questions that they get to. I don't know if you're familiar with Katie Byers.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, Katie Byers. So she's famous. Her work is just fascinating to me. So Katie Byers, so she always helps people like work it through to see if it's really true. So like, you know how like we have these thoughts, like, so like perfect example, all men are, can I say a bad word? All men are jerks. I'll just say jerks. All men are jerks. Okay. All men are jerks. If I always believed all men were jerks, right? And so then the process that I take women through is we get to really identify that. Why do we believe all men are jerks? Is it true? Why is it true? Give me the evidence. Okay. So that breaks it down. So people finally, for the first time in their lives, they actually get to have an aha moment, which is so powerful because they're actually writing it down, what they really believe is true, but the questions that they're getting asked will literally reveal that it's not true. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's not true. You know what I mean? It's not true. It's okay. So anyway, so they're like, oh shit. So then when they find out, no, it's not true, things that they've been holding on to that they really, really believe their whole life, because, you know, that's what their parents told them. But I'm like, that's just what your parents believe. It doesn't mean it's true. So anyway, so then they get what I call it, like I said, you get to like unclutter all that. Then that's the first step. Once you really get to go and do that work, the second thing is we reframe it. So we said, so what is true? What can we replace it with? What can we do? How do we want to show up? So then they get to see themselves differently. After they do the limiting beliefs, throughout the whole thing, we're always working on, as I told you before, feminine embodiment work. Because I believe 100%, if we're not addressing these things, it's stuck in our body. It's like frozen tension in our body. It actually has to get released. So not only needs to get released by talking it through, working it through, but it has to be released physically.
Right. I totally agree. 100%. That's how I healed. That was a part. And
tell me,
what was really clicking is when I was having the physical release and I was getting the words out so that they could disappear.
Yes.
I always say I spoke the words into the ether.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, and that's
you have to be able
when
to
you
speak
go,
the
wow,
words.
I just made some progress. You know, you feel it.
Wow. You feel it and you get, and so I teach women now that we are able to feel any emotion, let it allow it to go through us, and we're going to be okay. It's allowing that emotion and being in a safe place to allow to feel it, to work through it, to feel through it, because sometimes it will get stuck in a certain area in your body, you know, and when we do these meditations and they get to do it privately too, they get to like really put, oh gosh, no wonder, because a lot of that stuff stays in certain bodies. That's where the back pain is, people. That's where a lot of the tension is. It's just this stuff that we're not releasing. We got to release it. So after all of that, then you know what I get to do with these women, which is the best part. Then we get to go have fun. And we get to, I teach something now where I call conscious dating the fun way. I have really figured out a way to help women feel so empowered and date in a way that's just fun, that's so liberating, that it really allows you to actually meet great men and repel the jerks. When you're able to do this work and you're able to date in the way that I teach, it just changes the game.
Right. And so date, I mean, a lot of people think dating is hard.
Yeah.
And so you get them into this, I mean, that's probably a limiting belief right there.
No, perfect, Kelly, perfect. So let me say something. Yeah. Let me give you an example. Okay, let's just have fun here. Okay, so you're working with me right now. You're like, okay, so Charlene, I did all the limiting beliefs. Okay, now I know my truth. Okay, I got the feminine embodiment. I'm feeling good. I'm ready, girl. I'm ready. What are we gonna do now? Now we're gonna date. Okay, how do we do that? Okay, so here we go. Okay, first we gotta find out, what is dating about? What is dating for? What is dating for? Let's talk about dating. Dating, I don't think people know what dating is for. I think when you say dating, I don't know, people think dating, let's make it clear. Dating is an opportunity to get to know different people in time to see who in time we're having true alignment with. Okay.
Right.
So dating is what we do before we commit to the guy.
Right.
We date different people at the same time, because dating is just getting to know people. You don't have to sleep with anybody. You're not committed to anybody. You can really see what you're feeling with the guy. And the only way that you're going to really feel anything is you have to actually be in person. Period.
Right.
So I teach women, I said, listen, so two things I say. The dating apps are amazing. It's just a tool. It's just a tool for you to be able to get out, to meet different energy, different guys, to see if there's a lot, like you have a little something or not. That's okay. And it is really seeing how men actually show up. When you use dating app in the way that I do, very empowering. I'm like, oh, ladies, we gotta stop with being so damsel in distress. Oh, no, what the hell?
Yeah, it's fun. You have to
It's
look at it like it's fun. Yes,
it is fun, girlfriend. It is actually fun. So
I
when
agree
you
100%. Yeah.
when you look at it this way, because think about how can it not be fun if you know that you're going to go meet a new person and you don't know this new person and it's exciting. And I'm going to teach you how to date too. I'm going to give you a couple pointers here. And you're going to go meet this person and it's exciting. And you get to see that person. You get to see how men show up. Because some men are like such juicy. They're so juicy. They're so, oh, wow. Yeah, some men are like, oh my goodness. This is, oh my, seriously. And some men, they show up and you're like,
yeah, where's your energy, buddy?
baby, what happened? Baby, what happened? But okay. So you get to see what you like. Actually, you actually get to see what you're jiving with. You're like, oh, I didn't realize I really like that. You don't know yet because you got to feel it. You got to feel it, girlfriends. So dating is all about that. This is what you do when you're talking to three. I always say minimum 3 for sure. I use it like a funnel, like a sales funnel, because I used to be in sales. I'm like, okay, we gotta keep that funnel going, ladies. I did. I was in sales. I'm very successful. It's a funnel. It's a funnel. You don't remember, we're not committed to anybody. Why would we ever date one person at one time? Why? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense to me because usually what happens is that it doesn't work out. You're like, oh man, I just wasted my time. No, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Time is beautiful. Time is valuable. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking to 3 different guys and you go meet one of them, I don't know why I'm in the Spanish names table. You're going to go see Ricardo. So when you go see Ricardo today, right? If you're just dating Ricardo, you know what you're going to do, ladies? You're going to be like, oh, you're going to be looking at Ricardo all the time. Did he text me? Did he do this? You're going to be so needy.
Why haven't I heard from him?
Why haven't I heard from Ricardo? You know what I mean? Because you're just dating. You know why? It's going to drive you crazy. You're putting yourself again in the most disempowering place. But if you have Ricardo, Fernando, and Chris,
and Bob,
we like Bob too.
I do like Bob.
You're not playing games with anybody. You're just getting to know. And guess what? Men have to actually be able to pursue you and show you that they're interested in you. They have to show you, because if you're going to be out, women have to get dressed, and be happy and be ourselves. And, that's beautiful to have that energy around, right? So that man has to show you that he's into you, because if he's just sitting there like a bump on a log, don't be impressed by the bare minimum, ladies. Oh my God, you're the prize. Are you kidding me? There's so many men out there that will absolutely, like, literally be so excited to be with a woman like you. That's what I tell women all the time. Don't underestimate yourself. There's men right now praying for you, girl. You know what I mean? Praying for a woman just like you. So they would be honored. They love it. They're gonna want to pursue you. They're gonna want to ask you out. And the only way you can get those type of guys is you give yourself an opportunity to meet a lot of them. Meet a lot of people. So another thing is on a dating app, I said, never stay on a dating app and think that you're going to get to know them. If he's not pushing those dating dynamics quickly, you're done with that one. Move on, because you got to meet them quickly. You have to meet them quickly. I say within 3 or 2 days, 1 or 2 days, like done. If that guy is not pushing it forward, something's off. Yeah. Then he's got 20 of you guys. Okay. Yeah. And this is how I say, this is how we date. We got to see if there's something here. We got to see if they look like what they say. Okay. So Keep it simple. We're not going to go do dinner with someone we don't even know. That's very intimate. That's a lot of time. Oh, no, we don't want to end up in a dinner with this guy. We're like, are we really at a dinner with this guy? No. So what we do is we keep it really short and simple. Coffee is the best way to do it. You're going to meet for coffee. Statistics have shown when you're in a coffee shop and you have a warm drink, do you know people have a tendency to be more honest?
That's interesting.
Yeah, when you're holding a warm drink, you let your guard down. You're able to be a little more honest. You're able to be a little more vulnerable. So you're going to get a little more realness from that guy. Okay. I'm telling you, ladies. So if you're at the coffee thing and you have a little connection with him, it feels good. So I always say, be very aware. Do you feel warm and fuzzy inside? Yeah. If you feel warm and fuzzy, move forward. Okay. If you're not feeling warm and fuzzy, do not move forward because your body's going to tell you. So if you're feeling the warm and fuzzies, because I have a whole thing that I teach women how to feel. So if you're feeling warm and fuzzy, then you can go on the second date. Then you're cool. If you're not feeling warm and fuzzy, mama, then you're not going to go back on the second date. You didn't waste too much time. You kept it simple. You kept it safe. Done. Okay. Now you feel warm and fuzzy. You go out on the coffee date with that one. Then, maybe on Saturday, you maybe he takes you out. You guys go listen to some music. Keep it light. Keep it fun. Keep it simple. What's going to happen is eventually out of the guys that you're dating, one, you're going to be like, Lordy, woo! I don't know about Ricardo, Fernando, but there's this one that you're going to be drawn to because you're going to get to know him and he's just going to be getting more and more into you. You're going to get more into him. And eventually, this is when you're not dating anymore, ladies. I'm going to tell you how you do it. Eventually, a man will look at you and say this to you. If he's into you and you're into him, will you be my girlfriend? Will you be exclusive to me? You have to hear it. If you don't hear it, then don't put yourself in no situationship.
You should never be, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do situationship. Situationship is, and listen, let me say something too. I'm going to make this very clear. As a grown ass woman, you can do whatever you want to do. There's no wrong. There's whatever you want to do. But if you sleep with the man, you're not in a relationship. Let me make that very clear. Just because you sleep with a man doesn't mean that you're in a relationship. It just meant that you slept with the guy. Mm. He's not in a relationship just because he slept with you. A man can actually sleep with you and not be in a relationship.
Right.
Okay. You know when you're in a relationship? When he says, will you be my girlfriend? Will you be exclusive with me? And then you say yes or no. If you say yes, then you're actually in a relationship. And then what you're going to do? You're going to call the other ones. You'll be like, bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I'm in a relationship now. Then you're done. If you say, if the guy asks you to be in a relationship, it's so easy. If the guy asks you to be in a relationship and you're not want to be in a relationship, all you have to say is no. You're done.
Right.
And this is another thing. I want to say this, Kelly. One thing I've noticed the most is really hurting us is we don't give enough time to get to know someone. So I have a whole process on this because I tell people, I said, think about this. When you first meet someone, I don't care who it is. When you first meet someone, you as a person have this picture frame on who you think that person is. You don't know that person. You're just thinking who that person is. And usually you're thinking who that person is based on like how they're talking, based on character, like things that remind you of somebody else. So if that guy's talking, and if that guy has a sense of humor like your dad, all of a sudden you're going to think, oh my God, he's like my dad. Because you're going to think just because he has that sense of humor, who he is. But let me tell you something. You have no idea who it is.
Right.
You just have this picture frame. So what I tell women is this is why you have to slow things down. Because first, you actually got to get to know somebody. Mm-hmm. When you know someone, then you start trusting them. When you trust them, then you can rely. Then you can rely on them. When you can actually rely on them is when you commit. When you commit, you can touch.
Nice.
Because you have to get to know, rely, trust, and this takes some time. So there's a process.
Do you say it should take a minimum of X amount of time?
So my amount of time is this. I'm going to show you right now. Have we been on numerous dates?
Right.
Numerous. Have I met his people?
Mm-hmm.
Have I seen where he lives? Have I been able to see what he's been saying? Is it matching the actions? Because
Right.
it's not what someone says, it's what someone does, especially with men. So men can say whatever they want to say to you. Great. But you have to go by their actions.
Yes.
So if a man is right, so if a man's saying blah, 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 and then you're out to dinner with him and he's rude to the waitress, you're dealing with a man that is a rude man.
You just showed
There is
that.
no excuse. If a man is rude to the waitress, don't go out on another date with that guy, because that's what you're already dealing with.
Yep.
Because they're going to show you.
They be rude to you.
100%. They're going to show you who they are. So that's why I tell women, I said, slow it down, get to know who they really are. Don't do your picture thing. Don't think that you know who he is. You'll know who he is in time, and you'll know who he is as he's treating you, how he treats his people, who he is. His integrity, his character comes out in time.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to have you on a whole nother podcast, because speaking of time, we're out of time.
Oh, Kelly, I had so much more.
I know we're gonna have to do it again. Definitely. I think when listeners hear this, they're gonna want more.
Okay.
Thank you for all of that. And
thank you,
that helps
Kelly.
me. That helps me date and be a better dater.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much.
So I always ask, and I'll have, if you come
Yes.
on a second one, I'll have to come up with a different question, but I always ask
Okay.
this question to everybody at the end.
Okay.
And that is, what feeds your soul?
Oh. There is nothing. Sorry, Kelly. Wasn't expecting this question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There is not, no, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful question, actually. There's nothing more rewarding, more soulful to me is when a woman gets to see herself for who she is and loves herself. I work with so many women that are suffering, that feel shame, that feel broken, that feel like there's no hope, like, oh my gosh, there's no good people out there. And then they get to see themselves and they get to heal and they get to like love themselves sometime for the first time in their life.
Right.
And there's nothing more powerful for me than witnessing that.
Wow. Ah, that's so beautiful. You must be the best coach ever. I love it. You love your energy.
I'm very passionate. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. I'm very passionate. I'm such a believer in this work because it was me, Kelly.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. That's what I want to work with women that were me 5 years ago, 100%.
Yes.
And the me now. I want to work with those women too, because life is so good once you get past all of that.
I'm past Kelly. I didn't realize I was I was an amazing woman. You know what I mean? I was so biled up with all the yucky stuff and all the mean stuff and all the stuff. I didn't have no idea. And then once I was able to uncover it, I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, my husband is like, you're just a wonderful human being. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for, doing the work. Thank you so much for being so healing yourself. It's so powerful, Charlene. So that to me just says it all, Kelly.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how can people find you? Tell us about your website or whatever.
Yes. I'm all over. You can definitely, Kelly can leave in the show notes or something, my website, which is, charlenebyers.com. And I'm on social media, all over social media. I'm MS Charlene Byers. I'm Charlene Byers on Instagram, everywhere. I do a lot of social, so I'm always giving free content, a lot of fun. I'm on TikTok. I have a little more fun on TikTok. I'm Level Up for Love, so I do the kind of fun stuff. And I also have a free gift that I can give the audience if you guys want it, to learn more about dating and how to do this work. So I have, you can leave that. It's called The Magnetic Woman. But definitely come into my world. I offer to women, and I work with men too, believe it or not. I'm a mother of 5. I have 4 boys. They're older, so I'm so passionate about men and making sure they have everything they need to. But you can look at my website. You can leave the link. It's called The Magnetic Woman. And I also offer, Kelly, a 45-minute love breakthrough call, which is pretty powerful. So we really get to do a deep dive, find out what it is that's going on and what you actually are truly desiring and how we can get you there.
Awesome. That's great.
Yes.
I'm honored to have met you. I think
Thank
I
you.
love your energy. And
Thank
I
you.
really agree with what you're saying. I mean, just from personal experience, not coach to coach, but personal experience.
That's what I love. Thank you for saying that, because
Yeah.
it's all of us. Yeah, absolutely.
It is. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and I will leave all that in the show notes. So,
okay, sounds awesome. Thank you,
join
Kelly.
us next Wednesday. Thank you.
Kelly's book is available on Amazon and through your local bookstores. Look for The Swipe Right Effect, the power to get unstuck. Kelly's interviews with 10 friends from around the world unlock powerful truths to getting your new life started.